Okay, since there are no enemies on the board yet, we can go ahead and skip straight on down to the potential contact resolution. So on this turn, I'm going to be triggering 2 potential contact A's and 1 potential contact C. So we do these in alphabetical order, so A's are going to come first and then C's. And again, for the A's, I'm just going to randomize between the 2. I'm going to label this 1, label this 2. I'll draw 1 card, and we will see that we get a 2. So I'm going to go ahead and resolve this potential contact first. And it turns out that when we are in a state of no contact, and we hit a potential contact A, it's automatic. I don't even have to draw now to find out which contacts I've got. I simply have to draw to determine what kind of package. So we're going to skip the drawing of a lot of cards and go straight to the drawing for a package. So we draw for a random 10, and what we get on this 10 is a 6, and a 6 in this case resolves to a strong point. That's package number 11 in the briefing book. So a strong point is going to be a squad on 1 card under trenches, and on the second card, a squad and a heavy machine gun under a bunker. And both of those are going to start off as unspotted. So really great place for me to hit right away. So the next thing I need to do is go ahead and draw for the location. I'm going to go and draw first for the location of the lone squad. And again, we draw on a 10, a random 10. And on this random 10, we got a 9. A 9 means front right at maximum line of sight. So in this case, front right is actually going to be right over here where I don't currently have a card. So that's one of the cool things about Fields of Fire, is that you can in fact expand the map when you have these events happen. So I'm going to go ahead and draw on the front right. And again, the draw here is for maximum LOS. Because these corners are both dark green instead of the white, then there is no LOS extending beyond that. So that is where my squad is going to end up. So now I need to go ahead and choose my squad. And so to do that, we use the traditional coffee cup full of chits. And we reach in there and we draw out our first chit. And here we got an SL squad. So we'll go ahead and drop the SL squad on there. So we'll go ahead and place that trenches marker on top of that squad. And we'll put a question mark potential contact because this unit is currently unspotted. This unit also immediately places a PDF to the unit that triggered it. And we're going to come back to that in just a second as far as the VOF, because the VOF is going to change when we place the heavy machine gun and the other squad. So now we'll go ahead and draw for the location of the squad and the heavy machine gun. Again on a 10. This time the result's a 3. A 3 is front at max LOS. So again, in front of this, the farm has the dark green borders on both sides, so that's blocking LOS through it. So that is the max LOS there. So that is where our squad and our HMG are going to show up. So we'll reach in there and grab a random token, and this time we get a AL squad. So we put the AL squad on. We're also going to place a heavy machine gun team. Again, that's going to place a VOF. And that's going to be an automatic weapons VOF. And because fire is coming from 2 different cards, it's also going to be a crossfire. Can't forget my bunker. The bunker is placed so that it's facing the unit that triggered it, and that is the only direction that bunker is going to be able to fire. And of course I need to place a question mark PC marker because that unit is not currently spotted. So 1-1 just ran into quite the hornet's nest. With that done, we're going to go ahead and navigate over here. Oh, one more thing. Now our contact markers move up to contact because we now have one of our cards with enemy VOF on it, but only one, which is why we're still at the contact level. So now that we've got that all figured out, it's time to go ahead and resolve the second potential contact. Now that we are at a contact level, the draw for the potential contact when we're at potential contact A when we're at a contact level is 7 cards. So the odds are pretty high that we're going to go ahead and get a contact here. So there's 1, 2, yep, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And sure enough, we got our contact. So now we get to draw to see what the next package is. So we draw 1 for that. And again, in this case, it is package number 2. And a 2 on there is a light machine gun nest. So again, we're going to draw now to figure out where to locate that light machine gun nest. On a 10, we draw a 7. A 7 is front left at max LOS. So again, pretty typical of Normandy. We've got lots of dark green borders. So max LOS is actually going to be here on this marsh. So we're going to go and place a light machine gun team. And he's going to go under the default cover of foxholes, since the package doesn't call for anything specific. And again, conveniently, he is going to be hidden when we grab him. Okay. He's going to place a PDF on the unit that triggered it. And again, that PDF is going to be automatic weapons because that's what the LMG is carrying. All right, now that we've resolved our markers, well, we do need to go ahead and now move up because now we've gone beyond just simple contact and we are now at engaged. With that, it's time to go ahead and now resolve. We still have one more potential contact to take care of, and that's our C contact. But now that we're at engaged, a C contact is only a 2-card draw. So we draw 2 cards, and we do not have a contact marker on there. We'll go ahead and remove the potential contact markers that we just resolved. And now it's time to actually figure out the effects of our combat. So I typically just move left to right again on this. So I'm going to go ahead and resolve the contact or the fire against the 3-3 first. So the way this works, you just have to compute the net combat modifier. So right now we've got a automatic weapons VOF for -1. The unit is currently exposed, so that's an additional -2. The card has a terrain modifier, a +2, and cover adds a +1. So we actually end up on this with a net combat modifier of 0. +2 minus 2, +1 minus 1. So we draw a card and check our 0. And a 0 here is a pin. So we'll go ahead and place a pin marker on the 1-1, or the 3-3, excuse me. And then we'll come over here and resolve the combat on this unit. So here we have -1 for the automatic fire weapons, another -1 for the crossfire. This unit is also exposed for a -2, so that's a -4 altogether. +2 for terrain, another +1 for the cover marker, so we end up with a net combat modifier of a -1. So we go ahead and pull our -1, and we see that a -1 is a hit. So now that we have a hit, we draw again to see what the hit effect is. And we can see here that for a line unit, the hit effect here is a fire team. So we go ahead and flip this from its 3-step side to its 2-step side, and we add a fire team marker. And any hit is also, by definition, a pin. So we go ahead and place a pin marker on this unit. And that is all the combat. Because these units started off as unspotted and I haven't had a chance yet to issue a spotting order, I don't get a chance to fire back on this turn. So all things considered, that could have been a lot worse given that they ran into some pretty heavy fire. Okay. The last thing we want to make sure we do is go ahead and fill out our roster and make sure we make a note of all those nifty Germans that just came on the board. The biggest reason for this, frankly, is to be able to keep track of their ammunition, because we're going to want to make sure we tick that off as fast as they spend it so that we don't have to suffer it too much. So I'm going to go ahead and write down my units that came on. So we've got the 3-3, And all the German units come on as line. We've got the 1-1 and the 1 HMG. And the HMG starts off with 8 rounds of ammunition. And he's just used one of those rounds firing at my guys. And then finally we have over here our machine gun, and I drew the 3rd light machine gun. So we have a 3 LMG line, and the light machine guns, when they come on, get 6 shots. And so we'll go ahead and mark that those have been used. Okay, now that we've recorded all of that, we're ready to finish up our cleanup for the turn. Cleanup here is just going to be a matter of removing our exposed markers, of which we had quite a few. And with that, we're done with turn 2 and ready for turn 3.